Welcome to the Wedding Expert Panel webinar. We hope your planning is going well, and we are excited to share our insights into planning the wedding of your dreams. And we know, having been there, how overwhelming planning a major event can be. But we have some inside baseball to help you out along the way. Possibly the biggest challenge is selecting the right people to help you. And today, we are going to introduce you to some of the very best in the business.
Today we welcome Eric Churosky, owner of Got You Covered, a well-run DJ service here in the Valley of the Sun. Eric, let's dive in. You have the pulse of the latest reception trends. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I think the biggest trend that we're seeing from our brides and grooms and our wedding couples moving into 2016 wedding season is it's have it your way now. All couples just kind of do it the way they want. The sequence of wedding day events or the actual events themselves, a lot of the traditions are not being used anymore. They're being slightly changed. So it's kind of a have it your way year in 16.
What are some of the changes we can expect to see?
I have seen now first dances that happen after the meal with the parents' dances up front before the meal. We have seen a lot of the traditions like garters and bouquets and some of those things completely taken out of the wedding mix at this point as well.
What are some of the significant niches that cause a couple to check you guys out?
I think one of our big signature niches is the hands-on approach that we take from meeting a client and figuring out what their entertainment needs are to walking them through to pick out the right package with the right equipment and the right entertainers, from musicians to DJs, but then being part of their wedding planning from that day forward all the way through the wedding day with our hands-on team here at the Got You Covered's headquarters, 24-hour phone service, and obviously hands-on with our DJs as they get closer to the wedding day.
So you help the bride and groom put everything together for their wedding timeline?
Yeah, we can help them with anything from, obviously, musicians. We could do string quartets, guitar players, mariachis, bands. Of course, DJs, still the most popular option, but any type of wedding entertainment, as well as referring other great vendors that they may need.
Walk us through a client meeting at Got You Covered.
For an initial consult, we like to have the client come into our showroom, get a sense of who they are. Entertainment is a very personal thing. I believe the person that's talking on a microphone at your reception should be a great reflection of who you are as the bride and groom. So our number one step of setting up a visit here in our showroom is getting to know who you are. What are your tastes? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What kind of music do you listen to? Even when you're not planning a wedding, what is it about you that we can kind of bring out and make it a special part of your wedding day?
Are there some pitfalls that you steer couples away from in a client meeting?
I don't know that there's a lot of things that people need to be steered away from. I believe that seriously, the planning portion of the process is really what puts it all together. So if we sit down and create a really good timeline for their wedding day, and they know what's going to happen before they get there, and they're comfortable with what's going to happen, everybody arrives and has a great time, and they can focus on having fun and spending time with their family and friends.
One of the hallmarks of a good DJ is time management. How do you teach your DJs about time management?
We've got a timeline that was created usually about 2 months in advance with the bride and groom. It's already been sent to all the other vendors, the venue. Everybody's had a chance to kind of weigh in on it. So now we all know what the order of events are. From the minute the guests and the bridal party arrive through that last dance, we know what the order of the events are. And then it's really important to be flexible that day. And sometimes, due to circumstances out of anybody's control, those events need to move around just a little bit. And as long as there's communication with all vendors and, of course, with the bride and groom, everything just flows nicely. And I'd say flexibility and, obviously following the sequence of events, but being flexible is really important.
And you do a wide variety of events as well?
We have done every religion, nationality, same-sex weddings, modern weddings, you name it. We're open to celebrating good times with everybody.
And you help the couple with their ceremony as well?
Well, we do provide audio equipment, lavalier microphones, recorded music if that's what the bride and groom would like, or the wedding couple's looking for. But we also do have musicians available. So yeah, we can handle the ceremony in any level. So.
Would you elaborate on your entertainment options?
Sure. I mean, we have everything from really simple reception-only sound systems with microphones and all the way up to elaborate production packages. So if clients want to go heavy on moving head lights and lasers and other fun lighting and effects, fog machines or bubble machines or whatever, we have just about anything. We're getting ready for New Year's Eve right now. Confetti cannons are going out to all the weddings for New Year's Eve, but it's really at production level. We can take it from really simple to over-the-top MTV production level.
You really care about your couples, and I think that really helps you build a rapport.
It's really all about getting to know the bride and groom and their tastes and styles, and then treating it as if it was a member of your own family, and putting the same care and love into it that you would your best friend. So.
Then for the reception, you have all kinds of options. Can you tell us about those?
Well, I Got You Covered. We're really happy to provide such a wide variety of entertainment. We are well known for our award-winning DJs, where we have about 16 on staff right now. But it's the musicians and the other performers now that, something that's really popular for weddings that we're doing recently is a guitar player for the ceremony and cocktail hour who plays acoustic and sings, but then comes back after dinner and plugs in an electric guitar along with the DJ and accompanies the music the DJ is playing on the dance floor. So stuff like that. We can take a three-piece band and a DJ, and there's different ways of really creating that band-DJ combo for clients that are looking for that too.
And that leads to the grand entrance?
Usually you have a really great song picked out for the bridal party, and then the bride and groom have their song as they enter the ballroom. A great grand entrance really sets the stage for the rest of the night, creates an energy that should carry through the meal and have people ready for a great time on the dance floor after dinner.
What is the most important consideration for a couple looking for a wedding DJ?
The most important part when you're planning your wedding day is you want to have fun. Yes, this is one of the biggest parties you're ever going to throw, and there's lots of details and lots of vendors and lots of different touches that you need, but at the end of the day, you want to leave that night and have your guests leave that night knowing that that was one of the best times you've ever had.
Well, Eric, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having us on, and please send us an email or give us a call if you have any additional questions. Thanks.
And we really appreciate you taking the time.
And be sure, if you have any additional questions, to contact us through email at events@gotyoucoveredmusic.com. So that's events@gotyoucoveredmusic.com.
Good interview, guys, and thank you for speaking on our panel.
We'd like to welcome Cyndi Hardy from Cyndi Hardy Photography. She holds a Bachelor of Commercial Photography and graduated cum laude, and is a delightful photographer to work with. We've worked with her many, many times over the years, and really enjoy her style of storytelling as she takes pictures. And so, Cyndi, welcome to the panel. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Thanks, Dana. Yeah, I actually I went to school for photography thinking I wanted to do more nature and underwater, stuff like that, which is why I went to school for commercial photography. And then I started working for a wedding photographer the very first month I went to school, and just completely fell in love with it. I loved not just the family part of it, the weddings, people getting married. I loved telling the stories of every individual person, because no wedding is the same and no couple is the same.
I've noticed your photos are strikingly candid. You have a knack for picking up those moments that I don't know how you do it, because they happen so quickly. Can you tell me a little bit about how that works for you?
Yeah, it's because my goal is to tell the story of the day. I think that's why I specialize more in the candids. I can pose, but I do more natural posing. The candids, to me, I look at everything all around me all the time. I've always been that person, like an observer kind of, and an introvert in a way. So I see things that not everybody else sees. So sometimes everybody's paying attention to the bride and groom, something's going on, and there could be a flower girl on the side doing something, and so I usually will see that and catch that kind of stuff. But I think those are the ones that make the better pictures because they're more natural and show who people are, their personality.
You usually work with an assistant?
Yes. Some of my packages are just myself as a photographer. Some people add on a second shooter, but if they don't add on a second shooter, I do my best to have an assistant with me for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to be worried about my extra equipment with me, and two, if I need lighting off to the side, it's nice to have somebody that can handle that for me.
You have a shot that I really enjoyed. You have the groom posing as Darth Vader, and he's got his groomsmen in a chokehold. I'll pull it up here.
Sometimes the couples come to me with inspirations, but most of the time I try to get to know my couples in general, because not everybody's obviously going to love a Star Wars shot, but if I know them and I know what they like, and then I can come up with more fun ideas like that. Because some people are a little bit more nerdy, some people are a little bit more fashiony, so we can kind of play around like that. But that was actually a fun shot.
And you get a lot of that information in the client meeting, I take it.
Yeah, client meeting, and because they book me usually 6 months to a year or longer in advance, we can chat on Facebook, we can be friends, or we can just chat. I have some that just text me all hours of the day like we're friends, so you kind of get to know people before their wedding, and engagement sessions help too.
It's nice to be able to work with such a diverse clientele to be able to capture those days.
Yeah, it keeps things different and keeps me motivated in a way, because I am not this person that I can never do the mundane job, the wake up, go to work 8 to 5 or whatever. It's not me. So I like that I get a diverse clientele and I get to know them, and I make everything different.
What is your philosophy and style for posing couples on the couple shoot?
I do what I call more like a natural posing. I'm not the traditional photographer that tells you to turn your chin like a 1/4 of an inch. I do more natural things, like tell you to do things, get into a position. Simple things like take a deep breath can help calm your nerves and just give me that kind of serene look if I'm looking for that. So my posing doesn't always sound and feel like posing, but it puts people into more natural positions and natural looks.
You were telling me earlier that your packages you've recently updated. Can you tell me a little bit about how a couple can customize their package and some of the things you offer now?
Yeah, so before all my packages were dependent on hours. Where now I do have some for the smaller weddings. I do still have the 2 to 6 hour coverages, but then most of my weddings now are full wedding day coverages. So I start with 1 to 2 hours of getting ready, and then end at the last event of the day. So if there's a big exit, like a sparkler exit, then I'll stay till that. If not, it's usually like after a bouquet garter or something to that effect. And the reason being is it's just a lot less stress for everybody. Instead of people trying to shove everything into 5 hours, you can be spread out throughout the day like it's supposed to be, and I get to tell the full story of your day that way. So if something runs behind, you're not worried about me having to stay late and pay me extra or anything like that. It just I go with the flow and I tell the whole story that way.
Do you prefer having a shot list, or do you like to be inspired by the moment?
I prefer family shot lists, so we don't forget a family member when we're doing those. If they have ideas or stuff that they want to do for shots, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't want a 5-page list because I want to be able to look up everything that's going on and tell the whole story of the day. So I like to be inspired by the events, but I also want to know what my clients want and what they're looking for. So sometimes it's just to sit down in a final meeting and we talk and get things done, or sometimes Pinterest board or just ideas or fun stuff that they like to do.
There's usually time for the couple to just kind of enjoy being with each other and naturally fall into something that really works.
Exactly, and sometimes that's a matter of, I put them in the position I'm telling them to do things, but sometimes it's just a matter of waiting that extra 30 seconds or 2 minutes for them to completely relax and forget that I'm there or anybody else who's there, like you guys or whatever, and they will actually go into a perfect moment at that point.
Do you bring backup equipment?
I do. I actually shoot with 2 cameras on me at all times, and then I always have at least 1 extra body in my bag.
What's your approach to tackling the ceremony?
I walk around quite a bit in the ceremony, but I wear quiet shoes and I try not to distract anybody. I walk around the back as well for that reason, because people should be able to enjoy the ceremony. That's the biggest reason why they're there. But I do want all different angles. I don't want all my photos to look the same, just straight down the aisle. So I will, but I'll kind of go from side to side and get like the bride's face or the groom's face, and sometimes parents if it's doable. Not all venues you can get around front or not without disrupting people, but.
Do you encourage the first look?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily encourage it or oppose it. I kind of feel my clients out and see. If you want to have a sunset ceremony though, you do need to really think about a first look, or all of your photos will be in the dark. If not, you can always place your ceremony at the right time to where we get sunset pictures after. We can always do girl pictures and guy pictures ahead of time as well to cut down to some of the photos in that hour. But the biggest thing, the biggest reason why I would say a first look is if you're putting a later ceremony time on, or if you want to enjoy your cocktail hour, then we can get all the photos done ahead of time, and then you can go enjoy time with your guests.
Oh, that works well. Do you help the couple plan their timeline?
I do up until the reception, mostly because every DJ has their own little thing and what they like to do. So I will help them plan from when I think we should get them dressed to getting pictures ahead of time and all of that. And then also if they have an idea, they're not sure when to do the ceremony, I'll look up sunset time and give them that idea as well.
Well, I think a lot of couples feel like they're on their own and in this daunting task of planning their day, and what we see is the photographer, and especially you, dives right in, helps them helps them get where they need to be, when they need to be there, and see what they need to see that they can't, normally see, and that's and then they get to the reception, and the DJ is spearheading that, and they know what they're doing. They know all about timing, and so it really puts the couple at ease. I think there's a lot of anxieties that are unfounded for the couple going into the ceremony, just worried about so much going on. We tell couples the number one thing is the hair and makeup. If they can get that done and in the right time and with plenty of time, everything else just falls into place because the photographer takes over. It's like clockwork. What kind of things make a really good photograph?
To me it's emotions. So like for the first time you get to see each other that day, you're nervous kind of getting up to that point, and then it's all your nerves kind of come down. You're like, oh, this is really happening. And after, everything rushes through a wedding at least for the couple. They have no idea. And then when it comes down to like dinner and the first dance, you finally get to breathe and go, oh my gosh, we're married. So that's when you really get those like amazing moments from them. And then, of course, I love the party part of the reception, too. You get to see everybody having fun and a good time and just celebrating.
We all experience that together, watching you as a couple experience the reality that you're getting married. That's pretty special. Well, thank you so much, Cyndi, for being with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time and giving us your expertise and helping these couples to really make the right decision.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I want to take a second to talk about the cameras we use and why we use them. We use the Panasonic HMC 150s, and they have been a great camera for us. We have a bunch of these, and we use the aftermarket, of course, shotgun mic on them because onboard microphones are lousy, so noisy and everything. So these Rodes are amazing at capturing applause, interviews that we do, and those kinds of things, and XLR, all those goodies. And we could have gone the DSLR route, which would have been cheaper, which would have, been nice, but we can control these cameras. And when you are doing something like the run and gun wedding photography, videography that we do, we need something that is going to really be manhandleable, really controllable. And with these HMC 150s, we have the rocker switch for zoom, and so we can do something really light on it and get a nice slow zoom. And then if we need to speed that up, we can, and just push it in farther. We use all manual controls when we film, and that is very, very important. If we went auto on our focus, we would be getting the tree in the background, the person standing on the right, and then the couple, and then maybe the person standing on the right again. It darts around. It doesn't give you a consistent focus. So we're always manual, which on the processional and the recessional, the grand entrance, it's a challenge because you've got people coming in from 45 feet away or so, and so we're always on our ring, and we use our ring finger for it. So we're slowly zooming, we're slowly focusing tighter and tighter as they get closer. At the same time, we are doing manual zoom. So we are using this ring. And so literally we film with our ring finger here and our middle finger here, and the person's getting closer and we're doing this kind of thing. And so we are gauging where we're at with our focus and where we're at with our ring. Now, where we're at with our focus, this is the number one reason why I don't use DSLRs. Maybe as a panic cam, but that's it. And that's because our readout lets us know how far the focus is away. So if I dialed this to 85, that would mean something 85 feet away is in focus. And as it gets closer to 35, then it'll tell me 35 on there. That thing at 35 feet is in focus. How we do this is really cool. Say the bride and her father are 85 feet away, and they come down to 45 feet and then 35 feet, and we measure this all before the ceremony. We can look at the number and know that they're in focus instead of trying to squint, especially when one of us is looking into the sun. We can get an accurate reading from our camera telling us that we are in focus without trying to look for hairs or things like that. And when someone's coming from 45 feet to 35 feet, we know exactly where the marker is, the kind of our mental, physical marker of when they pass this point, they're at 35 feet away. And so we go from 45 feet to 35 feet, and as we do that, we just dial our ring down to where it's 35, and they get up to the altar, 16 feet away or whatever, and we know we've got a consistent focus on them all the way. Which that's the shot when you're looking at videographers. Have them show you their processionals. Have them show you more than one, and have them show you how they can follow focus, is what it's called. So other manual controls we use is manual iris, and that's really important because the exposure is, we expose for skin tones, of course, and we want to make sure that when the bride walks in front of something bright, she doesn't become a silhouette, because she will if the exposure is set to auto. So we have that on manual as well. So literally during the processional and recessional, we are running these two rings. We're monitoring our iris control, which usually stays set at where we're at. We're also panning, we're tilting as they walk downstairs, things like that. There's a lot of things going on. And if you get an amateur videographer trying to do all this, it's not going to go that well. And you might be fine with that, but it's just an important day. We use low gain. We only increase our gain when we need to, and those kinds of things. Our sound is controlled, controllable on here. So we know our cameras really well. We've been using them for years now, and so they're kind of like an instrument to us. We play them well. So that's the HMC 150, and that's our show for today. And we thank you for being here. We thank you for spending your time with us. We ask you to reach out to our vendors, our expert panel. They are amazing at answering questions, and you're going to discover that they really do care. We really do work as a team on a wedding because we're excited for your day. We want it to go well for you. And when things go wrong behind the scenes, I wish couples knew how much went on behind the scenes, where we see things and we address them. And oftentimes the couple doesn't even know what's going on. but they're just threats to their wedding day that we take care of, and because we're working together. So reach out to them. Thank you for joining us, and we're signing off. Thanks.
Yeah, let's go.